Hey everyone, how are you doing? Mike here. Today we're going to take a look at the Pro Series from Viparspectra. So here you have it, guys. These are the new lights everyone's been talking about. They just hit the shelves recently, and people have a lot of questions about them, so we're going to try to answer some of those here in this video. So these lights here were sent over by Vipar in order to review them, so that's what we're going to do here. Now, we are going to test the PAR. We are going to check the temperatures on all the lights running. And we're also going to check the energy consumption coming out of the walls. We have a really good idea by the end of this video, everything that we need to know about this light. Now, to start off with, this light here is using SMD LEDs, and the spectrum is made up of 3500K, 6500K, and the 660 deep red, 660 nanometer deep red SMD chips. So, one of the cool features with this light right off the get-go is that it has a dimmer. So as you can see, the lighting is completely gone up. So when the light does start, it does start at, when you turn it on, very low power. It's actually 5% of the full capabilities of the power, and as you turn it up, it raises up from there. So one of the really cool things that they have done with this is they put on a gel coat. Now, this here is really going to help protect the light. It does have a 3-year warranty, so this is probably one of the reasons why they put this on. Now, a gel coating is going to do a couple things, a couple positive and a couple kind of negative, but we'll get into that too. So, it will protect the components from humidity and moisture, and that'll kind of give it a longer life in that sense. But what the gel coating also does is kind of hold in some of that heat, as well as kill a little bit of the PAR. So, it's kind of a win-lose situation, but at the same time, having a light that lasts longer is definitely better, right? So we'll get into that when we get into the heat testing and the PAR testing and all that sort of fun stuff. But I really want to point out this frame that they built. This is a sturdy light, guys. Like, you try to pull on this in any way, and I mean, like, I'm really trying to like break this light, and you can't. It's just a solid steel frame, and then it's got these big chunks of aluminum that really are there to remove the heat from this light, the gel coating and so forth, like we're talking about. But I haven't seen another one of these boards with an actual heatsink on it. So they're kind of doing something here, which I kind of like, and they're trying to think ahead a little bit. So that's pretty cool. I really like the whole heatsink idea. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Definitely a big upgrade from the old lights. Like, there's no fans, and these lights are just a heck of a lot more efficient. So what I want to do now is get into the PAR testing and so forth, so we can go from here, and then we'll know a lot more about the light. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we're going to do a little bit of heat testing here. So this is actually kind of more or less a little bit of stress testing, because this is running in my opinion, unrealistic scenario. It's just running. I got no ventilation running. I have no fans running. I'm basically just cooking the lights. So I will never let my lights get this warm in my personal garden. But let's take a look. So this here is the P1000. They are running at 49 degrees Celsius, 121 Fahrenheit. The driver is reading 54 degrees Celsius, 54.5, and that comes out to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And the bottom of the board is 50 degrees, and that comes out to 123. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to test the P1500. So as I imagine, this one here is running a little warmer at 58.2, 137 degrees Fahrenheit. And the driver is running at 61 degrees Celsius, 144 degrees Fahrenheit. Try to get a reading off the bottom. It looks to be 60 on the bottom, 141 degrees Fahrenheit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my ventilation like I would normally run it, and I'm going to turn on my fan because I always have ventilation and circulation in my tent. So I'm going to turn my fan on to 1. I'm going to turn on my ventilation to its lowest setting, and we're going to leave the room for 10 minutes. We're going to start a timer. And we're going to come back in 10 minutes and we're going to see how much cooler these lights are running in normal situation. Alright, so we're going to retest here now. So for the P1000, okay, so it's running at 39 degrees Celsius. That's 103. And the driver is 44 degrees, and that is 112. Bottom of the board, 41 degrees, 107 Celsius, or Fahrenheit, sorry, 107 Fahrenheit. Okay, so testing the P1500 now, it looks like we're getting 41.3, which comes out to 105 degrees Celsius. The driver is 44 degrees, and that is 111 degrees Fahrenheit. Bottom of the board is 42 degrees Celsius and 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright guys, so now that we've done all of our testing, we want to kind of look at all these lights here and talk about what the information that we got from all this. So here we have, once again, the P1000. So this here kind of turns out that it was giving us a 2x2 area, as long as you're in a really like reflective area, like inside of a grow tent or something with reflective walls. You can see that on my PAR map where we're not testing in a reflective area, that the light really kind of fades out underneath the panel. But this is a kind of a small light too. It's only 12 by 11, so it's definitely not as big as this one. Actually, this one only has 300 LEDs, where this one has 450. So, as you can tell, it is quite a bit smaller. But it did get decent PAR. We're getting a 650 under the center-ish. And if you drop it down another inch, we're getting 900, and then another inch further, 10 inches, we were getting 1025. So, pulled 93 watts with both of our tests. So we use 2 separate meters. We take the average between those because they're off by about a 0.6, 0.7. So trying to find out which one is accurate is difficult. So we just take a average between the two numbers, which I feel is a fair estimation. So we got 93 watts pulling out of this one, and 143 watts pulling out of the P1500. So the P1500, you can get a 2x2, 2x5, a 2.5 by 2.5 veg with this light here for sure. And I'd give you about a 2x2 with it in flowering. And once again, in a reflective area, I think would be best. So this light here is 11 by 14, so it's still not the hugest light in the world. I'm going to be pretty excited because they have the P2500 coming out soon, and that's going to be even a much bigger light. So that kind of intrigues me a little bit more, because I think if you had 2 of those, you'd be able to fill out a 4x4 like this and get full coverage from one end right to the other, which would be pretty awesome. But anyways, both of these lights here, once we got our energy consumption, we were able to do our PAR map. We were able to come up with 1.73 for this light, and 1.74, and that's a ppfd per watt. So pretty decent. If you actually look at the manufacturer's PAR maps, which they use a very similar sensor to my Apogee one, they were getting a 1.9, which is I would say fairly accurate, because they test in a reflective background. They actually tested in a grow tent, which is totally all right. And I think actually any manufacturer should probably test in a reflective area, just because every other manufacturer does that. So why would you kind of lower your numbers and test like we test here? We're not a manufacturer, so I want to get the actual number of just the light. I'm not really interested in the reflective surface, so that's why my numbers are a little bit lower, just in case anyone was wondering. But yes, guys, if you are looking to pick up one of these lights, I will throw a link down below. If you guys do purchase from those links, it does give us a small portion, which goes back to our channel, which helps us buy, more lights for testing and more products that we use here on the channel. So I really do appreciate everyone that uses those links. And just a big thank you. So I do want to thank everybody for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have any more products you would like me to review, please post them down below. And you guys all have yourself a great day. Take care.